Hi guys, I hope you're all doing well. So this video is about chord progressions and also about the key signature. We started talking about the latter a few weeks back with alma mater, but I'm going to recap it and maybe add a few new things. Okay, so now here is the page. You have two pages. This is one of them. What I want you to do is this part. The part I put a blue rectangle around. Okay, so you are supposed to do C major and then G major, and then from the next page D major and F major. Okay, chord progressions. So now what's a chord? Chord is more than two notes. It could be two, it could be three, it could be five played together. Okay, so this is a chord. I just played C and G together. This qualifies as a chord. Usually three or more notes. So C, E, G. So where did you see this first? Yeah, I think if I remember correctly, it was in a procession that you encountered them first. Remember this? Like that, the left hand. Yeah. Those are the chords. So now, like I said, I only want you to do the part that I put a rectangle around, because this part, what is this part? That part is a scale, so I don't need to see that when I ask for a chord progression. Okay, so that's what I want. And then let's talk about key signature. So what's a key signature? A key signature is a sharp or a set of sharps, or it could be a flat or set of flat, that would appear between the clef and the meter. So C major key signature is clear. You don't have to do anything. Now look at G major. You do see a distinct key signature here. So look at the space between the clef and the meter, clef and meter. You see a sharp here. So you have to read it. And here is what I tried to help you out a little better now, as opposed to what I did with alma mater. You see I enlarged the sharp here, and do you see that I colored the central part blue? You need to see the blue part when you figure out what to do with the key signature. So you look at the blue part, so the square part, it's really hard to see, but you will see that the top line of the 5 lines is going through it. So that means the sharp is on the line. Okay, if the sharp were in a space, then you shouldn't see any line going through the shaded part. Okay, so now you look at the blue shaded part, the square part of the sharp, and you see that it's on the F line. In other words, the F line is going through it. So do you remember what to do now? Yeah. As soon as you figure out what line or what space the sharp or flat is on, go by the letter name. Okay, not just the particular spot. It's on the F line. That means you have to sharp all F's. Okay, any F's. It could be this F, it could be a lower F, it could be higher F, any F's. If you have five F's, on your keyboard, all those F's needs to be sharped. Whenever you're asked to play an F, sometimes you might not have an F at all in the song. Yeah, same idea with D major. D major, you see two sharps you have to read. Okay, so yeah, because this is still very new to you, I'm gonna go over this together. The left sharp is actually the same spot as G major, but you don't need to know that. You can do step by step. Look at the square part, the shaded part of the sharp. You will see that the top line, the F line, is going through it. Okay? So that means all F's should be sharped. Let's look at the lower sharp. Do you see that there's no line going through the square part? That means that the sharp is in the space. Which space? It seems to be the third space from the bottom. So the sharp is in the space for the C, for AC. That means all C's, any C's, even the middle C, even the lower C, needs to be sharp. Sorry. In the case of flat, you look at the belly part. I also shaded for you, enlarged and shaded. So look at the belly part of the flat. Okay, so it looks like a line is going through it. Do you see? Which line? Yeah, the third line from the bottom. That's a B line. That means all B's, any B's, should be flatted. And to make things easier, just read the key signature for one hand. The other hand will always be the same. It will never happen that one hand tells you to flat a B and the other hand tells you to flat, let's say C. It won't happen. Okay, so now, how is this related to what we've done before? So let's go back to G major. Do you remember G major scale and what did you have to do with G major scale? Yeah, G major scale had one sharp you had to play. Instead of F, you had to play F sharp. And that F sharp was not any particular F, right? Any Fs had to be sharp. In other words, I told you you could start your scale anywhere, but it didn't matter where you started. F needed to be sharp, remember? So right now my screen is only showing a very limited space, but yeah, I could play the scale anywhere across the keyboard and F needed to be sharp. It's the same idea. As long as the song or a scale or a chord progression is in G major, the same key signature applies. F needs to be sharp. Same idea. As long as a scale, chord progression, a song, whatever, is in D major, then all F's and C's need to be sharped. And the same with F major. Remember, F major scale, you had one flat, right? And the flat was on B. Anywhere across the keyboard you play the scale, it did not matter. Same idea, scale, chord progression, it could be a song in the future. Yeah, whenever you see a B, as soon as you figure out the key signature, any B's need to be flatted. Now, so as far as playing chord progressions, this part is not as strict with what fingers to use. So as long as you're comfortable, I'm going to do G major. So you obviously have to read the notes, okay? Usually, your left hand would be something like this. Yeah. Always think about the efficiency. I'm pretty much giving away here, but so left hand will go. I'm talking about G major. G, middle C, the D above the middle C, and the next note will be the lower D. Okay? But don't move your whole hand here. Just reach out with your pinky. Why? Because after this low D, you have to play this note. So if you reach out with your pinky, you have some finger around the area to take care of. So if you move your whole hand to the lower D, it will be a waste of your motion. Okay? Now your right hand, I'm not going to give away the details of what notes to play, but I just wanted to give you a general sense of what it looks like. So at all times, one note on the left hand, 3 notes on the right hand. I'm not talking about chord progressions in general. I'm talking about our specific examples. Okay, a number of notes for each hand vary, yeah, depending on what exactly you have to do. But in our case, 1 note on the left hand, 3 notes on the right hand. So 4 notes total at each time. Okay, so a lot of people were hesitant to use your pinky or your thumb with your song, but here might be where you have to consider using your thumb or pinky. Otherwise, it would be a stretch. So I hope this video was helpful. So this week you have 2 chord progressions, and then the next week you have another 2. But when you do the second batch too, you can come back to this video and review a few things. And if anything is not clear, as always, just reach out to me. Okay, thank you.